Okay, we're recording.
Yeah, so we're not
Thinking about that?
Yeah. No, I know, I feel the same way.
You don't have to worry about the outside noise. That's pretty bad because
I didn't get
sorry,
tired.
I'll worry on there. I did, I was the doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call the budget workshop to order for Tuesday. No, Thursday, February 7th. And the town clerk, the first to present.
Okay.
Are we going to do the pledge of allegiance?
It's not on our agenda.
Not for the
Oh, it's
budget
okay.
workshops.
All right, I'm looking at this agenda. Okay. All right.
But if you want to.
Attendance, we should probably do that.
Yes.
Here.
What section?
Andy Hoffman is absent, and Jason Bowser is absent. Okay.
Me?
Which tab are we on here, guys?
2,
Didn't get them marked up.
and it's the second thing right behind first selection. Town clerk.
Tab 2.
410 300.
You went too far, Steve. Right there.
410, you got it, Charlie?
Is all set?
Yeah.
Okay, hi. Good
Good
evening.
evening.
So I'm going to talk about professional services a little bit. My land record auditor retired, so I had to go out and find someone else. So I hired I have New Visions for my software company, and they happen to do auditing too. So I hired them, and they're cheaper, which is nice.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so that's the difference in why I'm asking for less this next
Okay.
year.
Can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
What does that mean, land record auditor? What do they do? Just as
Yeah.
a point of information.
Yeah, they, well, when documents come into us, we have to index them by the names on them.
Okay.
And they look at the document and they check how we've indexed them to make sure that we did a good job on it.
Okay.
And if not, I get a report that tells me what I need to change.
Okay.
So it's good, it's a
Yeah,
good thing. Yep.
Oh,
You-
good.
Did they do just a random sampling?
Well, the old ones that I had, they looked at every single page. I don't know if this company looks at every single page, but you know, hopefully they look at enough of them. So, so I haven't been billed for any auditing services for the last 6 months. I tried to get a phone call into them to see if they were just going to give me one bill a year or what, but just so you know, so that money is still in there waiting to be spent. Because I have like $2,900 left in that budget item. So I do have, this next 6 months, I have payments for vitals from other towns, microfilming of land records, and maps, film storage charge, scanning of maps, and land record auditors, totaling approximately about $2,500 that still has to come out of that 29. So, and that's just an estimate of what. So that money is just, you know, it's going to be spent in the next 6 months, just so you know. Because I mean, that looks like a lot, you know, left in there, or it is a lot. So supplies and equipment, I have about $815 left in there, but I would still need to order at least 2 more land record books and paper, and special book and paper for selectmen minutes, you know, and various other things totaling about maybe $790. So,
One thing you better not do, you better not order, you know, another pen. When I saw the $6 for the pens, I mean, I really like the detail, but
Yeah, yeah.
that's really going.
Yeah, no,
Those are special pens, okay? So they are archival pens,
Oh,
and we have to use those on the vitals.
oh, really?
So we have no choice in that.
Huh.
The ink is gonna last forever.
Yeah.
So that's why those are so expensive.
Somebody says they
But we just got a whole bunch, so we don't have to,
They're only $6?
well, I thought you meant $6 a piece.
No, it says $6
Where
here.
where is it?
Is your
Oh, my
spend.
goodness.
Secure
Let's
pens
see.
for counter.
Oh, those are different. Yeah, those, you haven't seen them. You know how in the bank they have the little holder
Yeah.
thing with the, well, I got myself
Oh, okay.
some of those.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
The string was the most important. You tie
Yeah.
a string to it, you nail it to that.
They were only $2 a piece.
That was expensive.
Yes, I actually bargained down on those. They were $11 a piece, each pen.
Really?
And I told Staples, I said, that is too much for those. And the woman said, well, we can give them to you for $2 and something a piece. I said, okay, it's done. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so, no, I didn't know those were what you were talking about.
Yeah.
All right, so, let's see. Travel, there's a
Can I
lot.
go
Yeah,
back?
sure.
Just one thing.
Yeah.
And it's also not significant, but I don't know in the aggregate what it is. Shipping and handling costs, is that like FedEx or somebody? Who is that?
No, that's, we work with a company called Adkins,
Uh-huh.
and they're in New Britain. A lot of times, they will actually bring us our stuff.
Okay,
You know, they'll come down and bring it to us, but sometimes they don't.
okay.
And when they don't, we get a shipping and handling charge.
Okay. I don't know if, and Amy, you're probably better knowing this, you know, townwide, in terms of shipping, you know, we send something to somewhere, I don't know how often that occurs, and do we have an agreement with like FedEx or UPS? Because I know municipalities get a better rate than just,
I don't know
We're
how
not
much they
sending
actually,
stuff out.
I
but
can't
we're
imagine how much,
receiving.
yeah, she's
Right.
talking shipping charges from the company.
Right,
So
right.
typically, you wouldn't see it specifically, you
There's
would
something
see it,
you'd send out.
you would associate it with the, whatever the bill is. So
Yeah.
if it's a part that DPW is buying, it's gonna come just on that invoice and it's gonna go under like repairs.
yeah, yeah.
But no, I don't think we ship out anything really.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know how
I didn't
much
know.
shipping we actually do anywhere.
Okay.
I mean, we mail stuff out, but we don't ship large stuff.
Boxes, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Travel, there's 3 more conferences that travel needs to be paid for. To come out of that, there'll still be some left in that. But. And education and dues, I have $380 left, and I have to pay for 2 conferences in the next 6 months totaling $350, so. And the budget went up by $10 because the lodging in 2 of the conferences went up $5.
How dare you?
Anyhow.
Where do you go for a conference if you actually spend the night?
Oh, I go to Westbrook, and I'm also going to one in Farmington. They're all over. Yeah,
Do you get a hotel room or something?
yes. And they have a special rate for town, even though it looks a little high, but for where we're staying. And I gave up one night that most town clerks go 2 nights, but the first night, they have a supper and they have like a kind of a fun thing for the town clerks.
Mhm.
But I don't go to that anymore. I just go the next day from my house.
Okay.
So, yeah. Just to cut the budget down. I won't do anything.
When they have these
You were being asked
conferences,
to
are
cut
they,
it.
in like the hotel in their conference room? that kind of thing?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And we have, all day Thursday we have classes. And then for supper, we have this really nice banquet.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good.
And then Friday you go to class too?
Yes, Friday morning we go to class, yep. Yeah, we usually get done at 12. So, Right.
We're kind of finishing up with the town clerk. You want to go on to the next, you want to spend a minute with the town clerk?
Jason and
Say it again?
we're kind of finished
Hey,
up
Joey,
with
how are you?
town clerk. Maybe Jason would like to.
Did you go over the revenue?
I went over the revenue with
And
Amy.
it's on your sheet that's right there
Yeah,
in front of you,
yeah,
agree? No, it's
but
going up
in
to
this group-
135.
Not with this group, no.
Okay.
No, I don't have that with me because she asked me what I thought about it, so I figured that she was the one that was going to be talking about that.
So the reason you have all those pages is because she thought it was going to justify additional hours, and then when we did the numbers of things versus.
No, actually, I did that for Charlie. He asked me for it last time. He wanted the revenue, so I did that initially for him.
So, but we did decide conveyance, if you look on that green-headed sheet, Jason, we actually went up today to, or was it today or
Green-headed
yesterday? Right, the top sheet
Yesterday,
that I left
yeah.
on your desk. We did a revenue
Oh.
analysis and I
Yeah.
increased the conveyance to 135. So overall, her revenue's going up 30,100. It was prior 190,000 and now it's 220.
That's for sales of property?
The conveyance, yeah, based on the 3 years and the current year actual, we increased that number. She's one of the very few changes in all of the revenue numbers.
Do you have the dog fund in your department, right?
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
Oh, no.
No.
Dog fund.
She
No,
doesn't
I
have a
don't-
dog fund.
No, I don't. It's a state fund. All I do is break out the money for, and give it to these guys, and they send it to the state.
Right.
So I don't really know a lot about the dog fund. I could tell you
That she
different
sells
something here.
$900 of tickets.
I can tell you what's in it, like where the money comes from. Would you like
Where
to
does
know
it
that?
live?
Where does it live?
Yeah, so my understanding is that the town clerk's office gets to keep $1 of that, or a portion of that.
Not the dog fund. The dog, it's all broken down. We get,
Am I thinking of the CIA?
yeah, there's the CIA and there's the HP. Those are the two that, yeah.
The dog fund, we actually have a fund here in special revenue. So if you looked at an audit, it would be in the non-major section.
Yep.
And that houses the cost of the animal control that's budgeted in police, we then transfer to the fund. And that's where the revenue from the state comes for the animal control
Yeah,
licenses,
animal
comes back to
population
us.
control, yeah.
Then there's like a whole big calculation. We have to send money to the state, but there's a fund there. And that one we actually had to go for an additional appropriation because we had been short funded it.
Yeah.
And we actually went for an additional appropriation to get that into the plaque.
How did we short fund it?
Well, because the only thing we were really budgeting for was the cost of the animal control officer, not any of the stuff, so no pound-related expenses, no vet care if we needed vet care. So we haven't done a very good job in the past of budgeting all the things related to it.
Okay, so it is, so you get to really the heart of my question. It is used for the purpose of offsetting the costs of the municipal pound and animal control officers.
Yes, and it's all budgeted through the police.
Yep. Okay, that was really what I was trying to get to. Thank you.
So you made $831,000 without any TV ads.
Okay.
That's good. What was it the prior year? You know, remember?
No, 831 was the value of the transfers, right? That wasn't money you made.
Where are you looking?
Page 2 of 2, the cash code summary.
Of the 2000, FY 2018? Okay.
Almost 600 went to the state of Connecticut.
Which thing are you looking at on it? Breakdown?
Yeah.
We kept 242 of the 800.
Right.
Right.
588 went to the state. So she
Uh-huh.
collects the fees and then sends
Yeah,
them
I
off to the
understand.
state.
But how did it compare to the prior year? About the same thing?
I gave you, you didn't get the 2017? No,
2017 was where,
It says 2017, right? Yeah.
it was 240, oh, okay, so 2018 is 243, so not much difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about the same.
Yep.
and on that revenue sheet I just gave you guys, you can actually see the 3 years across it. If you will go to town clerk revenues. The numbers are 206, 235, 236. So a piece of it that she keeps goes into that dollar fund that she gets to spend. So not all of it comes to the general fund. Because of that 243, we only recorded 236, 298, 29 in the general fund, which is on page 1 of the sheet with the green header, the 3-year revenue analysis. You see her section?
Yep.
So those are the funds that we keep of it. As part of general fund.
What establishes the percentage that goes to the state?
They do.
They do.
So a lot of the
In terms of
stuff,
what?
we take a reporting fee in of X dollars, and
Statutory.
$1 gets to stay with us, right?
Yeah, more than that, but yeah.
There's a set dollar amount.
Yeah, they have it all. I didn't bring the breakdown.
In the, you're talking about in the Community Investment Act? The real estate conveyance tax?
No, any of the fees she brings
Yeah,
in.
I didn't bring the breakdown of all the money. The money that comes in does get broken down according to what the state says.
So
Some of
the-
it goes in that HP fund, some goes in the CIA, community investment account. Some goes to the state. Yeah, I just don't have all the breakdown.
And the state actually
Some-
apportions some money to things like the veterans? Or is that something that we do out of our funds?
The veterans, I was selling their products. That's us.
Mhm.
The veterans just get the money, I'm just a vehicle.
And the 250th obviously came out of our pot of money. That's something you allocated to
No,
to
No,
that's selling their
no,
merchandise
that's just
too.
selling their merchandise and just being a, in-between person. I rung it up, gave the money to these guys, and they put it in the 250th account.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. So I'm no longer doing that. They took all their inventory. I am doing it for the veterans, though. I still sell their T-shirts and
Okay.
their little coin.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions.
You take in a great deal of money.
Yeah,
You really do.
we do.
I was surprised.
Yeah, yep.
Too bad more of it doesn't stay in our pocket, right?
So over the 3 years, really, didn't really go up much.
No, it's
30,000
pretty-
or something in 3 years.
Right.
But most of the fees that she assesses have been pretty static too. So if the transactions are the same and the fees are the same, the revenue is going to be pretty close to the
Yeah.
same.
The fees, some fees have gone up, so we might see a little jump in it. The state has raised some of the fees that, on some of the things like the liquor permits. Those were $2, right, a piece? They're now 20, so they went way up on that.
Yeah, but how much are they keeping versus how much they're giving
No, we
us?
keep it all.
Oh? Okay.
Yeah, we keep all of that.
For the permit, but the license is something different, right?
Yeah, I don't do the license.
Yeah.
Liquor license.
Yeah, we
is
don't
done
do
by
liquor
DCP.
licenses,
Yeah,
we just do the permit that they hang up on their wall.
Yeah.
Is that a one-time shot?
That's every year,
$2 or $20 every year?
yeah, yeah. But everyone's complaining coming in, because that's quite a hike. I know it's only $20, but from $2 to 20, they were surprised.
Yeah, they used to be getting the service for free, now they're getting the service for almost free.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the license is in the hundreds, if not thousands, depending on what it is. But they pay.
Yeah, but that's a state
Liquor
license,
license,
that's not a
state,
municipal,
yeah, I
that's
have
what I'm
nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but yeah.
Gotta get them.
Yeah, so you might see a little jump in the revenues.
Well, thank you for putting this together and breaking this out. Appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, tax collection and contract.
Right after town clerk. No, after assessor. 410,900, and tab 2 still. Just farther back.
Little bump in the salary part-time.
Well, there's a change in that. That part-time person, we're trying to realign that position because that position was shared between the treasurer and the tax office. And all that came about
Was that Sam?
6-7 years ago when Kim Ward was here and there were a bunch of different union issues and whatnot. So there was a shared position, and so now I'm trying to realign it, and Amy will probably attest to that position does very little work in the treasurer's office, and probably 98% of the work in the tax office. So the salary that was in the treasurer's office is coming over to the tax office.
This is a reaccounting of it, is that it?
That's right, so I'm moving it over, and you'll see a decrease in the, you should see a decrease in the treasurer's office. So that position will be fully in my office.
Mhm.
But that was only $8,400.
Right, so, but I am also in the same area requesting a slight increase in time in that office.
Well, that, does that cross a threshold in terms of salaries and benefits and pension and that kind of thing?
Yes.
And where is that cost
Because
fully
my-
reflected here, or is that somewhere else too?
In my justification, the total hours will come up to 1,110 hours, is what I'm asking for. With a total of $2,200 extra dollars is what I'm asking for.
And no, none of that cost is in here.
Is
FICA
it
would
somewhere
be
else?
in FICA, yeah, on that sheet that I gave you guys that had all the salaries that first night we did budget,
Yeah.
that, the pieces are all there. So, so it would have a pension impact, it would have a FICA impact. It doesn't reach level, it ends up being 21 and a half hours, I think.
Does it have a health insurance impact?
It does not.
No, not that. She, if there was an option to waive the pension, she has already stated that she would waive the pension.
But that's not enough.
So, reasons for this, to fill that position is very difficult. And the reason why I state that is because to find somebody who you tell you can't go on vacation in the summer, and I want them on a part-time basis, and I need you to fill vacation schedules, but I want you to get certified with the state of Connecticut. So it's a tough position to fill.
You said,
You really need like a mom, but the mom can't go on vacation in the summer, maybe someone who's retired. So it's difficult to keep people in that position, especially part-time. So when I have somebody that is interested in staying in that position, I'm trying to really hold them in that position.
so it's 1,021 hours, you said?
1,110 hours.
Which works out to 21 and a half a week.
Okay.
What's the other thing?
Well, and just backing up,
Sure.
so because we've gone over the 1,000-hour threshold, then what expenses would she be eligible for then?
Vacation, sick, personal,
Okay.
holidays, snow days. Basically, any day she's normally scheduled to work for, if it falls under one of those, she would get paid to not be here.
Okay.
She already gets sick.
So, but no pension or health?
No pension she does too, because anything over 1,000 hours is pension,
She would basically be part of the clerical.
which would now be a DC, because clerical did agree to DC, so that's one benefit. It will be just a 5% match.
Are you sure about that?
What?
It has to do with when she crossed the threshold for benefits, not when her hire date is?
Well, even if it was her, she wouldn't be her benefit eligibility hasn't started yet, because right now she's 19 hours or less a week.
Okay,
So
so,
she's not working 1,000 hours right now.
Okay.
This budget would increase her hours to then, so it would be 7/1 of 19 that she would start being eligible
Yep.
for the clerical union.
understood.
So aside from the wages difference, what is the impact on the benefits?
I don't know if I had
Well,
that sheet, I
what
did
did
take
you
out
get?
the sheet.
Uh,
So, I mean, basically, it means that when she calls in sick, there's not another body to fill that role. Or when she takes vacation, there's not another body to fill that role. I mean, so that's what you lose when you give somebody benefits as time off, then you don't have when somebody doesn't have time off, right? So right now, if somebody doesn't take time off, they're not getting paid to not be here if they're part-time, strictly part-time, less than 19 hours a week.
Yeah, but
So
what,
that's really, there's no other cost other than the retirement, which is 5% of the total $20,000 she would be making.
I think the way you said that was confusing.
Yeah.
Because it's not as though when somebody who's not benefits eligible calls out sick, they're going without pay, but it's not as though there's somebody else coming in, which is what
Right.
your comments just alluded to.
Okay, no, but so there's a cost for her not to be here now, where currently there is not. If right now she goes on vacation, that's unpaid time,
Yep.
which this would make it paid time.
So she doesn't get sick pay either?
Well, she does
Well, she
get
gets
sick pay
sick
because
now.
the state requires us to do anything more than 10 hours.
Okay,
So there is a sick time, but it's a lot smaller than any of our benefits.
okay.
It's one hour for every 40 that they work, which is required by the state.
Patty, could you break out the professional services stuff? There's a pretty righteous bump there too. I don't know, there's no detail.
Professional well, right, so that again is going to be a realignment. So when I get my bill from my software vendor, QDS, it used to be under the IT budget, under Joe's IT budget. And so this year, we're going to strip that bill and say, okay, these services will be underneath the tax collector, and what is truly IT will be under IT. So there's things like, anything that says, do you guys have this part of it?
Nope.
Okay, so, this part here, I'm just going to run down here. All this here, which is about $8,300 worth, has been taken out of IT and put into my budget.
So that's like printing and postage, though,
Yeah,
right?
so
So it's service things versus IT.
IT, okay, so it's just a realignment, so taken out of IT and put into mine because it belongs to my budget. So it's the, so what they do is QDS will take my bills and make sure that all the addresses are in, they call it CASI certified file, meaning the addresses are perfect for the meters to read them. They will fold meter all the bills. They will strap and deliver them to the post office. They take care of the postage. They will, they call Q nesting, so they'll take a real estate and a motor vehicle and put them together so save on postage. I mean, they have an easy track plan so that I can, if someone comes in and says, I didn't get my bills, it's this. And I can track, I can get to Hartford, it's delivered to your house on such and such a day. And then the final postage rate books, which are the heavy bound books that eventually come out at the end. So all that is part of the professional services. So that is why it's a big bump, but you'll see that come off of Joe's.
Aside from transfer of funds, it sounds like that budget went up about $1,000, is that correct?
Actually, it was an increase of $189. From last year's QDS to this year, it was a $189 increase from their,
Oh, okay. The rest of it's transfer.
yeah, so it's just transferred from one to the other, because I went item by item, and they only increased by $189 on top.
Okay.
So follow up on Andy's point though, because again, I'm aiming for clarity. The only change in the professional services budget is the movement of the QDS software from IT to your budget. There's nothing else there.
All the rest of it is,
Status quo.
even.
In your staffing summary, you have full-time 2 people, in here under part-time, you have .5, but it's really 1, isn't it?
True. You're right. Or if you did FTEs, it would be whatever 21 is out of 35. So it'll be like 0.7 of an FTE.
And we hadn't seen it anywhere else. Though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We have to work on consistency across some of this
Yeah.
stuff. It would be 1 part-time body,
Yeah.
but what happens if you have 3 working 30 hours?
No, I understand.
That's a lot different than 1 working
Yeah.
10.
So
Yeah.
what's driving the increase in the supplies and equipment?
Okay, all right, so supplies and equipment. Part of that came off of the QDS where I have to pay for the envelopes where last year that was all in Joe's budget because we just had this one big massive quote. So I have some envelopes there. I also am asking for, we have 2 broken chairs in our office. We sit in them and they shoot down. I have some mats in there because they have holes in them. So some basic things to replace before someone breaks their neck.
You have pens in there too?
Actually, I got some of those pens and they're awesome because we used to fill cups with pens and within a month of collection,
Yeah.
they're all gone. So now I have them glued down to the
Actually,
counter and
you know-
they can't take them.
That sounds just like you.
I saw Joanne's and I was like, "Ah, I need them." So I did.
The travel increase, I'm guessing that's some sort of a mileage reimbursement?
It is, and actually, I just looked at that today, and I have decreased that because I found out where the class is going to be. I did it out to Norwalk, 'cause that's where I took the class, and it's going to be in Berlin. So I have put it to a total of $416 and to reduce that. So
What are you using for the GSA rate? It's 58 cents a mile now.
that's what I have here.
Okay.
I have that, yeah.
Yeah, that just came out last week, so a lot of
Yeah,
people.
so I changed that to reduce it, so we can,
So what's that new number?
my request is $416 for travel.
Not just for that class, but all,
For
because you
the
were at
whole.
600, okay.
Right, for the whole,
Okay.
and so that would be a
Okay.
decrease of $184.
The request goes down to 845?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
The 845 comes
I-
416.
just got the classes today, so.
Bob,
Come on in.
there's a,
Come on.
Bob,
Yes.
there's a, if you add up all the travel every place, there's a substantial amount of travel that goes on that's necessary.
Yes.
What are the chances of getting a town vehicle made available to people who
We got
travel?
it the other day.
You should see this
We got a police
magnificent car.
interceptor, a 2013 police interceptor.
You'll be able to
That
get
they
there
were
very
giving up.
quickly. Yes.
Do they have a navigator on it?
That I don't know.
GPS, I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I take it. Unless I'm going to the court. I'm
Is
taking
that
it
that white
over.
one I saw?
It is.
Driving around with a town seal on it?
Yes, that is the new white one with the town seal. I mean, it's an old car, it's a 13, but way better than what we were driving, so.
Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
So now there is a car available.
Awesome.
That should get us where we need to go.
Perfect.
Also, I'd like to point out that under, just to let you know that the Connecticut Tax Collectors Association and OPM are working together to make, to create a program that where tax collectors are going to have to start earning continuing education units. And so it will be required that we go to these training programs in order to maintain our certification. So that should be coming down the pipe, I would say, in the next year and a half. So Heidi has her certification, I have mine, and Carol is going to be taking her third class, so it will be required to take classes in order to maintain the certification.
On the second page that you have, do you have what those classes are for the education in there? If you get us a copy of that
You
second
can have
page.
it if you want. I have, what classes are you interested in?
Well,
What makes up your education and dues number?
Yeah, we've been getting that from everybody who's what they are.
I thought you got all the backup from this. They didn't get the backup to
It doesn't sound like it. I
No,
don't know how fast
apparently not.
Amanda.
Yeah, because that's why I thought they had that, which would have made it a lot
So did I.
easier.
I thought they had it
But we
too.
had the conversation, so.
And these are all
I'm sorry.
mandatory to go to?
No, they're gonna be mandatory in order to earn continuing education units as time goes on. I go so that I can stay up on the latest laws and legislation. I try and bring Heidi along with me as long as I have office coverage. If I don't
Yeah.
have office coverage, I have to leave her back,
Yeah, okay.
you know, and so.
So there are annual refresher
Yes,
courses
Yes.
that are required by all of your staff, or just
there
yourself?
will be, yes,
Hmm.
yes,
By the whole staff?
yeah.
Now, they're
OPM's gonna
all-
pay for that, right?
What's that?
OPM's gonna
Yeah.
pay for that, right?
Good try. No.
And are they all the same place?
No, like the March seminar I'm going to is going to be done in Westbrook. It's very similar to what Joanne's doing. It's a 3-day. It has been in East Hartford and I've commuted to it. A lot of times I look to see what the classes are and I may go for a full day. If it's, you know, how to jump off of a chair or something ridiculous that I don't want to know about, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to that. But if it's bankruptcy or something that's constantly changing, I will go and get as much.
And you
as I
can, in fact, pick and choose, you don't have to take all the,
No, you can go for the day and you can go for half a day if you want, but I mean, you're going to pay for that day,
yeah,
you know.
Understand.
So if you're going to go for a day, you might as well sit there and,
Yep.
especially if they're going to start giving out
Yep.
continuing education, you got to sit there for the whole day and take what you can.
And have you, heard of any towns trying to do something about mailing the tax bills rather than the mail, or that's not? Is there any push to do that?
No, there's not a lot of push to do that. Our point and pay system has a delinquency feature where you can email delinquency notices. I have not gotten really deep into that. And the reason being is that you have to get people to sign up for that. And
Yeah.
that's hard. I have set up the computer on the counter and said, hey, sign up for alerts and whatnot, and I'm not getting a lot of people to do that. So unless they want it, I can't force it on them.
There's a lot of people who don't even have email.
I know, and that's part of the
So
problem.
you're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way,
So,
mail.
But,
and also the state statutes have not been changed to accommodate for email.
right.
So,
Do you segment by any way businesses versus residential?
no,
You can't do that.
I don't know. Helen may do that by, for her stuff, but I
Okay.
don't know.
Is that, they would have an email address,
Mhm.
and,
I try and collect what I can, because if someone's delinquent or whatnot, then I try and reach out to them before it goes to collection. I try and reach people before it gets to that point.
You guys want to look at this?
Oh, good.
Good, Andy?
We all set?
we're all set?
Okay, thank you.
Good, thanks much.
thank you, Patty.
Okay. Ruben Flores,
Good evening. Purposes of the record, Ruben Flores Morgan, town planner. And I'm here to
Same section, just the next group.
do a quick synopsis of what we're trying to accomplish here with your blessings. So as you know, when you develop a vision of where you want to go, you say, okay, so how am I going to finance this? So in terms of crafting my first budget for the town, I wanted to understand what my goals were for my department to help out the town. So I essentially came up with two goals. Number one, increase predictability, and number two, reduce uncertainties. And these are important because when you're trying to put a good face in terms of being facilitated towards developers, which are the people that will bring capital to increase economic opportunity in town and create jobs, you need to have predictability in the sense that people understand what the workflows are. So you come into the office, what is it that you want to do, and this is how you go about it. And then in terms of reducing uncertainties, it means that regardless of who you are, if you follow the process and you follow the guidelines, this is the outcome that you should be getting. So when you establish those two things, it creates this atmosphere of trust and attracts people to the community because they see that there's fairness to the process. That is very important in planning and development. So that's where it started. If you take a look at the package, it's just one page. So we have our activities, functions, and responsibilities. If you start going through those, most of the items are pretty standard. You know, you're taking care of people, you're processing applications, and you're pretty much doing the traditional planning stuff. When you start looking into the last 4 bullets, update zoning regulations as necessary, implement the plan of conservation and development, promote economic development within the town, and process zoning permits and land use applications. This is where the details are that may sink or swim your operation, your planning operation. So as I was looking at all the documents that we have and the flows that we have at the office, and based on my prior experience, I decided to focus our energies in improving these, the service delivery of these 4 items. And hopefully that is what is reflected in the budget. So if you take a look at our different line items, we have salaries, full-time, part-time, etc.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Before I forget, can you just go back to what you said, that this is to improve the delivery of what you're doing?
So 2 goals.
Are there
right?
backlogs in your department?
There are no backlogs, but we can certainly improve the way we do business.
Okay.
So you always go under the presumption that you want to improve what you have. You're never satisfied with what you have.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at either technology, different types of resource allocations to make you be a little bit better over time. So how you said that, if you take a look at our line items, the first line item, the salary full-time, you'll see an increase there because we are requesting a new position that we call a strategic planner position. And now,
Ruben, could I just ask,
Yes.
do you have an assistant town planner right now?
I do have an assistant town planner.
Who is that?
Matt?
Matt.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So a little bit on that.
Don't tell him I forgot that.
He's watching. So as I did my budget, and I was trying to understand what the justification of having a new person and why we need a new person here. So I did a dual analysis. First, I took a look at the different towns within the Capital Region Council of Governments, and I did a quick analysis, and it turns out that most of the towns with our same geographic area, 26.8 miles, 27 square miles, and so on, they employ from 3 to 7 planners. The breakdowns, the way they were able to accomplish this is that they created different offices in towns. So they will have a planning and zoning office, they will have a conservation office, and they will have an economic development office. But when you take a look at the individuals and the credentials, these are planners. We do not want to do that here. We're satisfied in the sense that we have a planning and development office, but we understand that we need an extra body, an extra planner, to help us go from where we are to where we want to be.
Ruben, one of the things that I see missing
Yes.
from your budget is improvement in your office, just the appearance of the office. your office is probably, from the standpoint of acquiring new companies, is probably the second most important office in the building after Bob's. It is not an attractive office area. We talked about it last year when Laurie was here, and we tried to get it into a budget, and it didn't get in. My personal opinion is your office really needs renovation badly. It just doesn't look good. It is not the kind of place that tells a potential developer, this is a great place to start to build a business in East Windsor. It just isn't.
I do agree with that, but if you come to our town hall every single day, this room here is mostly empty. So this is a great room to have. We have a large screen where we can project things, great conference table, nice seating. When I was weighing the different options within the limited resources that we had, my understanding and what I came up with was that I'd rather have a person at the office helping us moving the agenda forward, and we can meet here.
I'm going to have to say that we're going to have to end this workshop now. And then,
We'll pick it up after.
And we'll continue in the Board of Selectmen meeting.
Okay.
So I entertain a motion to adjourn budget workshop.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
She gonna make it? Cool. On Saturday? Yeah, she'll do it.